Hi, I'm Peter Walton from Lanyon Partners, and this week I'm going to spend the next 2.5 minutes talking about the Australian banks. Most of us have an involvement with banks one way or another, either as depositors or investors in their shares, so they're part of all of our lives. In recent times there's been a fair bit of volatility, particularly with the value of bank shares going up and down very quickly. And we see a lot of information from analysts talking about banks in a very negative fashion. And a lot of that information is coming from a basis that the banks have a low growth rate in terms of their profits. And this has been the case for quite some time. Nothing much has changed there. But of course the banks provide a very good yield. If you are connected with the banks, you can go and place a term deposit, perhaps at around 2.8%, or you can buy their shares, which might pay a dividend yield per annum of 6 or 7% per annum, plus of course the franking credit, which brings it up to 8% or more. So clearly the shares are a better option than a term deposit, but of course they carry more risk. But we think that the theme of investing in banks for their yield is not an unreasonable one. The bank profits will probably continue to grow only slowly, which they have in the past. That's not changed. And we think that their dividends are unlikely to change much. They're unlikely to go up much, but also they're unlikely to go down much. Most likely they'll stay roughly where they are now. So if for the foreseeable future, the most probable answer is that you could get 8% plus per annum on your money in a reasonably stable environment. It's not such a bad bet. The other thing that's happened, of course, is that the regulators are requiring the banks to increase their capital to make them more insulated from possible future disasters such as the GFC. Now, this can have some negative effect in that if you are required to hold more capital, it is harder to get a return on that capital equal to what you've had to do in the past. However, the other side of that, of course, is that the strength of the banks, the stability, is stronger. And so in the long run, it's more likely to be a better thing rather than a worse thing. So overall, our view of the banks is quite positive. Our favourite bank would generally be CBA, which has had the strongest performance over recent years. And as the example, CBA dividend yield based on its current share price is about 5.6% or about 8% including the franking credit. If you had to own CBA shares 3 years ago, they were around about $58 and they're now $75. So you would have done very well. It seems a bit distorted because a few months ago they got up to about $95 and now again drifted down to $75. But that's the volatility of the share market. So you would still be well placed if you had to own those shares for some time. So in summary, the banks are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. They make good, solid, consistent profits, and they've been strengthened by changes in the regulations. So we're still interested in our clients investing in the bank shares. That's all for the time being, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.